Hi, and welcome to Brett's Corner, where we cover everything small business. From how to start a business, to how to grow your business, to how to keep your books, and ultimately how to position and sell your business, and some things to think about after you've sold your business. If you're a small business owner, or you're thinking of being a small business owner, you're in the right place. My name is Brett Hustleball, and I've been a small business owner for over half my career. I started my first small business in 1995. I quickly grew that one to over multi-millions in revenue, and I sold that to a Fortune 500 in 1998. I started my second small business in 2000. I grew that one more slowly to over $1 million in revenue, and I sold that to a multi-billion-dollar corporation in 2014. And now I'm retired. And what I like to do here at the Corner is to share the benefit of my experience with you. So, before we begin, a quick disclaimer. Number one, I'm not an attorney. I will share with you some of the experiences I've had regarding legal issues and what worked for me, but what worked for me may not work for you. If you have specific legal questions, consult an attorney. Number two, I'm not a CPA, nor am I a certified financial planner. But like every business owner, I know my financials, and we'll talk financials, and I'll share with you some of the things that you should know. But if you have specific financial questions or tax questions, consult a professional. Same goes with investment questions. Consult a professional. So, with that out of the way, let's get on to today's video. Hi, today what I'd like to talk to you about is one of the most important elements to running a successful small business, or any business for that matter, the customer experience. Now you might think, that's obvious. But you'd be surprised at how many small businesses, or businesses in general, fail to deliver a consistently satisfying customer experience. So let's first break down the elements of the customer experience. What are the key ingredients? And for that, we'll go to the computer. So the customer experience is usually measured by customer satisfaction, and that's often measured using a survey of some sort. In this day and age, it seems everybody's asking for a survey, but that is generally how you measure customer satisfaction. That is the outcome you're trying to create, a satisfied customer, a customer who had a good experience. So what are the ingredients to that? What are the things you control that factor into that? Well, one of the things is your delivery quality, your accuracy. Did you do it right the first time? Can you do it right every time? That's one of the key elements of customer satisfaction. Another key element is, how long does it take? Did you get it done within the time I expected? And a lot of that is also, can you get it done as fast as your competition or faster than your competition? What is the average cycle time in the marketplace? But your cycle times, how long it takes from the time you engage a customer to the time they have whatever it is that they've ordered from you, service or product, how long did that take? And believe it or not, your employees, and generally as measured by their satisfaction, their engagement in your business. Are they happy employees or are they disgruntled employees? That plays a lot in the customer experience. So let's look at how they relate to each other. Delivery quality is a direct driver of customer satisfaction. If you did not get it right to my expectations, I'm not happy as a customer, and I'm going to expect something, either a refund or for you to make this right. So you have to meet my expectations. Delivery times, cycle times play a direct part in customer satisfaction. Did you get this done when you said you would get it done? If not, I'm not going to be happy because I have expectations around when it's going to be done. And then again, your employees. Any interaction I have with your employees, were they courteous? Were they helpful? Were they engaged trying to solve my problem? Or they're trying to push me off or not engage at all? So largely, how satisfied are your employees? A satisfied employee will go the extra mile for a customer. A disgruntled employee will shrug their shoulders and not even want to help the customer, and the customer knows that. The interesting thing is that creates a loop, a reinforcing loop, and it works in both directions. A satisfied employee can make a happy customer. A happy customer can make a satisfied employee. And the reverse, a dissatisfied employee can make an unhappy customer, and an unhappy customer can go a long way to making an unhappy employee. So you want to get that loop working in your direction, the direction that you want. So let's look at all this. How does this impact you because it actually impacts you as well. Not only your customer experience, but it's going to ultimately impact you at the bottom line. So let's talk about your cost and your profit as well. As we've talked in previous videos, your profit is a combination of the revenue you can bring in and how much it costs you to deliver and to be in business in the first place. And of those two, cost is the thing you have the most control over. So you want to do whatever you can to keep your costs down if you want high profit. So delivery quality, if you don't do it right the first time, guess what happens? You got to do all of it or part of it over again. And what does that do? That lengthens the cycle time. I can tell you this, if you don't do it right the first time, it's almost impossible to satisfy the customer. The best you can do is have them feeling neutral about you when you get done. So if you don't do it right the first time, you have to do all of it or part of it over again. That lengthens the cycle time. I recently purchased a part from a vendor. They sent me a faulty part. I'm not happy because I got to endure the entire cycle time of getting that new part, plus the repair and the removal of the faulty part. So there's no way to really make me happy now because they failed in their incoming inspection to send out, make sure they were sending out quality parts. Delivery quality also impacts cost. If you don't do it right the first time, you got to do it over again, costs you more. And there may be some additional costs associated with it as well. Delivery cycle times also cost. The longer it takes to do something, the more engaged people are to do it, the more you're paying for the overall delivery. So the more you can get your cycle times down, the more you can reduce your cost. So get your quality up, get your cycle times down. Both of those directly impact your cost. And of course, your cost, as we've talked about, impacts your profit. So now look at this diagram. Look at the arrows, what drives what. And look for the oval that has the most arrows going into it. Well, that would be customer satisfaction. Well, that's the outcome we're trying to create. All this strategy map is suggesting that you've mapped the strategy properly. It is a critical outcome of the strategy. It has the most arrows pointing to it. It's most driven by this strategy. That is the outcome you're trying to create. That's called a critical outcome. That's why it's blue. Now look at the node, the oval, with the most arrows coming out of it. That's delivery quality. That is the key driver to this entire strategy. The entire customer experience is most driven by accuracy and delivery quality. So here's a key thing to remember. If you want to reduce your cost, increase your accuracy. If you want to reduce your cost, increase your accuracy. There's so many businesses that try to cut corners, shave off materials, go with inferior quality materials, just in the interest of shaving cost. When you do that, you usually sacrifice quality. Don't sacrifice quality. That's what's going to bite you in the long run. Focus your entire energies, your delivery energies, on doing it right the first time, every time. If you have to choose between cycle times, it's going to take a little bit longer because this job's a little bit more complicated than you thought. Take the extra time. It's worth it. Do it right. So that's the most key message coming out of this entire analysis. Focus on quality. So what is quality? Well, quality is meeting or exceeding your customer's expectation. How do they get those expectations? Well, one way is through the marketplace in general. Your competition has offerings, so they come to know what to expect based on if they've engaged your competitors or done this type of work before. There's a general expectation set by the marketplace. But largely, the expectations are set by you. So you want to make sure that you set proper expectations all the way up in your marketing. That's where expectation setting starts. What kind of perception have you created about your company? Make sure that it's not too far ahead of what you can deliver. And you don't want the salespeople out there over-promising either, just to get the deal. That's going to bite you. Make sure that there's a good dialogue between your salespeople and your delivery people, and that your delivery people can actually deliver what the salespeople are out there saying you can deliver. So setting proper expectations. Another thing, a trap that I fell into in my first business, is failing to set expectations, being silent, just assuming that you don't have to say anything. Then you find out, and I can tell you, if you were silent about setting expectations, guess what? A customer will set their own expectations. And sometimes they'll expect ridiculous things. And you think to yourself, nobody can deliver that. Why would they even think to expect that? They will. And if they do, they're going to be unhappy when they fail to get what they expected. So as you learn, as you have these experiences yourself and you realize a customer expected something that they shouldn't have, make sure you get positive, proactive, up in your marketing and sales to make sure that you set proper expectations so that they don't go and set their own expectations. So it's very important, take very seriously how you set your customers' expectations. I was working with a small business here recently. They are a contractor. They do delivery work, installation work for a large retail firm. And one of the problems they ran into is by the time they get involved to actually do the installation, the customer's expectations have already been set by the retail salespeople. A lot of times they're improperly set and they can't do the delivery to the expectations that were set. The customer ends up being unhappy. And then they're on the hook to go back out there and fix it. So it costs them money to fix it. And so I told them, your best bet, your best course of action is get into those retail stores and train those salespeople. And yeah, they got high turnover, so you're going to have to keep doing it. But that is your best bet, is to get in there and make sure that they know what can and cannot be delivered, so they set proper expectations. So very important to set proper expectations. So now that you've set the proper expectations, what else is important? Well, you've got to be able to deliver consistently, repeatedly. What do you need to do that? Repeatable processes. First couple times you do something when you're new in business, you may not have any processes. You're feeling your way still. But eventually you're going to get good at it. You're going to know exactly the steps that you take to do whatever it is you do. Document that. It took me 2 years to figure out that I had to focus on quality. I was so busy trying to do a bunch of things, hire people, cash flow issues, sales issues, constantly fighting something that I didn't really understand. That a lot of these issues I was fighting were because I had not focused on quality. If I had just done that, the rest of these things take care of themselves. And I did learn that, and that is true. If you focus on quality, getting paid on time by your customers, getting paid in full by your customers, delivery, all the fire drills you have to go through, a lot of that quiets down if you just focus on doing it right the first time, every time. So you need repeatable processes to do that. So what we did, here's an idea, but there are many other ideas, is we made checklists. There were many, many, many steps, hundreds of steps in what we did to deliver what we delivered to our customers ultimately. And we had a checklist for everything. And we had 2 sets of eyes, make sure that the checklist got followed. And we were serious about that. We collected the checklists, we audited, make sure the checklists were being followed, because I understood how important it was to deliver quality to my customers. When I finally put that program in place, business started humming. Guess what else happens if you don't deliver quality? The market backs away from you. Maybe forever. I've seen that happen. But for us, luckily for us, it was just a period of time and then it came back. So you go through a dry spell. You're wondering, are we going to go out of business because no one's hiring us to do anything? Because we had so many customer quality issues. Word gets around. So really, really, really take home message, focus on quality. Another thing you can do is automate. I'm a big believer in automation. Automate your internal processes. The more you can automate, the more you can take steps out that people have to think about, reduces errors, increases your accuracy, plus makes things faster. A computer can do things a lot faster than a human can. So the more you can automate, you get if you do it right. If you do it wrong, you can make matters worse. But if you do it right, you can actually increase your accuracy and at the same time decrease your cycle times. Both have direct impacts. And I'll say this, if you do automation, that's how you measure if it's being effective. That's what you should expect out of automation. Set up a measurement system to see if it has had a positive impact on your accuracy and on your cycle times. If it's not impacting positively your accuracy and cycle times, then the automation investment isn't working. Think through how you can make it work better. So let's recap quickly. Number one thing to focus on in delivery to your customers, the number one driver in customer experience is quality, accuracy. Get it right the first time, every time. There are 2 other ingredients that are important. Cycle times, how long does it take to do something, and employee satisfaction. Another thing that you can push on, quality is number 1, but also make sure that it's a positive place to work. People like working there. They're engaged in their work. They enjoy what they do. Make it a positive workplace. It's going to go a long way to making satisfied customers. If you like the content we're providing here, please follow us. And as always, if you have any questions, please direct those questions to info@brettscorner.com. I'll watch that email address and I'll respond to your emails. I won't respond to comments you leave on the video, so please use the email address if you have any questions or you want me to respond. And as always, thanks for watching.